Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Get More Students podcast. I'm your co-host, Alex Asher, and CEO of LearnCube.
And I'm Herbert Goethe, founder of herbertgoethe.com.
Now, we actually have a special guest also with us, but I'm going to leave you all in suspense because I want to tell you, first of all, what we're going to be talking about. And this wasn't an original idea, but when we started talking with Anthony, who you're going to meet, we just got really captivated and excited about this topic because it was something that could give us all ideas about whatever marketing we're doing in social media. And that is how to sell online language or tutoring courses via WhatsApp. It's not something that we'd actually discussed, even thought, Herb and I.
We're
very much the juniors in this conversation. But we wanted to talk about this because, LearnCube, we specialize in helping online language and tutoring companies grow their business with our two products, Virtual Classroom and Online School. And so by helping our customers sell more classes, we're actually helping ourselves. It's actually a really nice virtuous cycle. But Herbert, tell us about your experience as well, because you rely on social media.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, running an advertising agency for language schools and education businesses, we're always looking for ways to market courses through different platforms, mainly through Facebook, Instagram, and Google. But yes, I'm excited to talk about a different method or strategy of selling online courses today.
That's totally it. And so let me introduce you to Anthony Ninos. He is the director of the American Teacher Club, and it's an online language company based in Brazil. It's been going for 10 years, and we think it's fantastic, and they've been doing a really, they're a customer of LearnCube, but they also do a really great job, and a really great job in social media. Now, one of the things that I didn't realize when I thought of social media, and I think Herbert thought the same, we're going to be talking about Facebook and Instagram, and then we started talking with Anthony, and we're talking about WhatsApp. So this is a really fascinating conversation we're about to have, and I'm looking forward to it. But let's set the stage a little bit for this conversation. Anthony, first of all, tell us a little bit about your journey of even starting an online language school.
Yeah, nice to meet you, everybody. Welcome. Hi, Herbert. Hi, Alex. Basically, I started off teaching by myself, private classes, in 2001. And, in Brazil, I came down to Brazil. I was only 25 years old, and I started teaching private classes. And after a while, I got too many students, and I started to get a teacher here, get a teacher there, and started working, basically starting to create the course. And finally, in 2011, I was able to create American Teacher Club. And basically, in the beginning, we were working with private students, in company and stuff like that. And in 2015 is when I started working with online classes as well as classes which were in company. And basically, it's been a really good experience, especially starting last year when I started using LearnCube, of course, as well in May. And the pandemic came, and the increase in online classes really worked out well. We basically were able to double during the pandemic, and also,
fantastic.
The quality of the classes as well as the platform we use with you guys too.
That's fantastic. And Anthony, again, on my side, I've been such an admirer of what you've been doing. I've only seen the kind of glimpse of what you've been doing social media wise on, say, Facebook and the platforms that I'm really familiar with. But you said something quite interesting before. So what percentage of your students actually come from social media, do you think?
100%. All of my students come from social media. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And of course, we have referrals, but the core students come directly from social media platforms.
So that
shows you the power of social media.
Yeah. We were thinking hey, why just starting off with the basics. Some people are still on the fence of whether I should get into social media, and then you're saying, hey, look, my entire business is really made up of me doing a great job on social media.
Yeah. I think that the main problem in the beginning is people don't know what to do. They don't hire people like Herbert or, to help them and show them what to do. And at times, You can spend a lot of money and not get results, not get the right results that you need. And I went through this myself in the beginning. I learned by trial and error. And, social media, you need to invest. I mean, if you don't invest in social media, you're not going to be able to grow. I mean, organic, I do it, of course, I make a video here, I make a live here, I post things, but I mean, there's no comparison with organic compared to, paid advertising. There's basically no comparison whatsoever, in my opinion, of course. I mean, maybe other people have different opinions,
Yeah, I think, am I right about this in that, organic does feel a little bit like I'm handing the keys to somebody else and hopefully they drive back to me. Whereas social media, if you, particularly in the paid aspect, you really can control, like it's a lever, right? And you can play with the machine. Whereas, blogs or SEO and organic, I think, by the way, I really do think that can work for some customers. But they require different skill sets and it's a different machine that you don't really know how it's working. Whereas social media feels a lot more like, I moved this and this happened, and then you kind of make these experiments and after a while you get quite good at it. Is that been your experience, Anthony?
Yeah, I agree with you totally about that. I mean, like I said, I've tried before. I mean, especially today. I mean, today everybody's basically working from home. Like it or not, even when everything gets back to normal, people are still going to be continuing, to work at home. And I believe that, in Brazil, at least, it transformed, like basically the Brazilians had the knowledge of going to a class. And now with this pandemic, they're getting really used to having classes online. Everybody that we get I've never had a class online, but I really liked it. You give them a trial class so they can meet the teacher. Oh, it's really good. I really like this format. But, like I said, if you don't, invest, I mean, if you don't actually make that investment and not be afraid, I think, like, I can tell you in the beginning, I was a little bit afraid because I was just like a private teacher trying to get some students. So I had my budget of the money that I had, I'm saying, oh my God, I'm going to spend like $10 or $15 a day. And, for me, that was money at the time, to see if I can get students. But when I realized it was working, the more you invest, the more results you're going to get. I mean, that's just how Facebook and Instagram basically work. It depends on how much you want to put in them, and they'll give you the results according to what you pay them. And I mean, it's a business, you know what I mean? And I mean, if it wasn't for Facebook or Instagram, I wouldn't have American Teacher Club today. I'll tell you that for sure. No doubt about it. I mean, we wouldn't be anywhere close to what we were able to become because of the online marketing.
Interesting. And how do you actually use Facebook at the moment?
Well, basically we create ads. We take videos from LearnCube that we have the classes actually, and we market exactly the videos, okay? And what we do is, we make about 25 second ad, we get the best moments of a class, for example. And then we post the video, okay? And we use the forms. I always use the forms. I don't really use, Reach and different formats that they have there, like sending to a landing page. Mm-hmm. From my personal experience, the landing page doesn't work as well as the form page works. I've seen that you can get many people to go to your landing page, but to get those results from the same amount you would invest on a form page, I don't see a comparison for me. I mean, with the form page, the person goes there, he'll put his name, he'll put his WhatsApp, and he'll put his email and his level of English. That's basically the 4 things that we ask them. And, I receive that. And then from there, we make the first contact.
And I assume you make that contact very quickly.
Yeah. I make it as quick as possible, of course, during the night. Some people also make it. We make the contact as soon as possible. Every 2 hours, I'm checking to take the contacts, and we send them basically the first message, which is through WhatsApp. Basically, that's how we send the first contact that we have with the students, with the potential students.
Got it. Because people are so impatient these days. I've heard of a lot of other schools run these sorts of campaigns, but they wait 12, 24, 48 hours to get back to people. But I think if you're using WhatsApp as a form of contact, people expect an answer immediately.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'll tell you exactly what you just said now. It's interesting. I mean, sometimes like we'll get a contact at night, and of course we're sleeping. You know, people are up all night long, 24 hours, social media is moving. And I'll send them a message and they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I already was able to close a course. I mean, wow. I mean, so fast. I mean, you registered like, 1 o'clock in the morning. I sent it to you at 10 and they said, oh no, we already have an English course. Thank you very much. So you need to be fast. You know, you need to be as fast as possible. People want answers fast, you know. Mm-hmm. And another thing is too that, speaking about WhatsApp, you know, messages can't be so long either because a lot of times, you know, people will take a look and they won't read the whole thing that you're doing. They'll just look at the top. You know, that's the first thing. Yeah. And that's a little bit, difficult as well, you know. Another thing I'll find difficult as well is like you'll send them, okay, I'm from American Teacher Club, blah, 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 blah. And you'll ask them a question like, what's your level of English? What are your objectives? And what's the best day for your trial class? And then let me ask you guys a question. When they say to you, their answer is like this, what's the price? What answer would you give? Without even answering
always about the price. Always the price, right?
It's always about the price, exactly.
It's interesting, Anthony, though. I mean, just to reflect that back to you, it does also depend on who you're marketing to. So sometimes if somebody sent you that back, then for example, that might not be a good customer. Like they're going to be just hunting for the lowest price and then you get nowhere. And you know that they're hunting around for the same reasons. And it also doesn't show any kind of indication that they're really committing to that you said that you do trial classes, right?
Yeah.
So I know that those are really effective, but I also know that they're not effective at all if you get the wrong people because people might go, well, I'm not valuing it. I haven't paid anything for it, so I just won't turn up. But then you're paying the teacher still, so actually it's a major problem if you get the wrong people turning up. So I think I'm kind of curious as well, like how do you handle those people that are like super price conscious, you know, straight off the bat?
Well, Brazilians are Latins, right? So they're really different from, let's say, Americans as myself or people from England as yourselves. Basically, what do they like? They like the contact. So what do I normally do? I mean, I work in the sales. I have other people. I'm the one that sells. I'm good at it. I like it. I like to do it. And what I always do first is I send them, like, I'll send them the first contact, and then when they send me that example, I'll price. So I'll send them an audio. How are you, my friend? Nice to meet you. My name's Anthony, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what's your level of English? What's your objectives? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also send you, the price list. So, you know, to see if this also fits in your budget or not. So I'll always say that first. Why? Because before, you know, you'll send the price list and like, I can even tell you today, out of every, let's say, now if we go like to June, we've already had this month of, 97 trial classes, okay? Out of 97 trial classes, like, let's say we've gotten about, I can tell you like more or less about 20 students, 22. So it's about 20% of the trial classes that you're gonna actually give, you know? And I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but I'm sure maybe it's similar, but in Brazil, price, you know, is really, really important for the people. I mean, you can have like product A, which is wonderful, and product B, which is horrible. I'm just going to go with product B because it's cheaper. You know, it's cheaper. And we've even had students that actually had trial classes with us, went to a competitor that's charging extremely cheap, really bad quality classes, and they've left the competitor and came back to us. This has happened a few times already. So that's, you know, that's good, you know. I mean, people see the platform, oh yeah, it's really nice. I really like the platform. I like your material. I like everything. But, you know, I have another couple of trial classes. So when they say that to me, I'll go in and I'll say, you know, okay, but didn't you like the class with us? I said, be honest. What are you looking for? Price? He goes, yeah, you know. I said, okay. And then you got to negotiate with them, you know, and try to get a price, you know, discount them and try to make the sale, you know, because you got to do it now. If you let them go to the next school to make a trial class, you lost them. They're gone. They're finished. Yeah. It's over. Yeah, it's over. It's over.
That's really, so just going back one step, you said that you send them an audio. So they've just gone through Facebook. They've put in their details through the form. I think part of that is the WhatsApp number. You then send them an audio.
No, I send them a pre-made text that I already have. I just put the name there, you know, that I have. And then Once they respond to me, okay, my level is intermediate. I need a professional English. I can have classes on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Okay, then I'll send them an audio. Hi, my name's Anthony. I'll always personalize it. A lot of people say, oh, why don't you pre-record it? Because pre-recorded, they're going to see it's pre-recorded. It's another thing if I say, hi, Alex, my name's Anthony, or hi, Alex. That's already showing that you're doing it directly to Alex or Herbert. Yep. You're not just sending them a pre-audio that you can see the audio is already made. So I always do that about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Most of the time, they'll reply with an audio, or they'll reply in English, try to reply in English, or they'll write something in English. So you have to make that rapport, because if you don't have that connection, you're just cold like everybody else, just sending a message on WhatsApp and that's it, So, that's my way of working. That's what I do and I see that it works. So, that's what I think is, in my opinion, is one of the ways that I sell,
I just think it's brilliant. One, because Herbert, we've talked about this before, but just like if you're going, anyone that's not one of the big box language schools, if you're going against that kind of competition, personalization is probably one of the first tools that you have at your disposal. Herbert, do you have any kind of thoughts on, for me, I think that's just enthralling, but tell me your thoughts.
I would love to know, how you handle the amount of WhatsApp messages. If you're running ads, you could be getting, hundreds of lead forms each day. Is it manageable, for one person to handle communication with hundreds of potential students?
Yeah, an average, according to, I get on average between, what's happened during this pandemic. I don't know if you've realized that, if the same thing is happening out in your neck of the woods or not, but in Brazil, the price has increased a lot on Facebook. Because there are a lot more, same thing, huh? We used to get a form for, let's say, a pretty good lead for about 3 reais, 4 reais, which is equivalent a little bit less than $1. Nowadays, it's not less than 8. So 8's about $1.50. I don't know how much it's costing out there, but about $1.50, $1.60 to have, the right, more or less the right lead. So we get per day about 20, 22. So how do I do that? I'll explain, what do I do? I basically will send out the leads. I'll see today, because if you don't get the lead today and you don't get the lead tomorrow, the third day he's lost. He's gone. Yep. So you have basically to work with him 2 days. So I'll send out the first message today, let's say. I'll wait till about, let's say, he hasn't responded. People normally respond after work more, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night as well. Nighttime, they're sending messages out a lot here in Brazil. Until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, sometimes I'll be responding as well. And I'll just look at my dates and see, and then the next day I'll follow up with another message. Hey, this is Anthony again. You didn't respond to me. I guess you were a little bit busy. You're still interested to schedule a trial class. I have that pre-made text ready again. I'll see if they visualize it or not, the ones that at least leave it open that you can see if not. And after the second time, I have another small one, and then I'll just archive them, and I won't basically talk to them again because they're basically lost. Because if they saw it once, twice, 3 times, they're not going to answer you anymore. Another trick that I have as well, I can even share this with you guys. I have a code that I put, of course, for me to know who I'm talking to. I have to register it on WhatsApp. Okay, let's say add 2021 June Herbert. Okay, add 2021 June Alex. So I have this from 2017. So what I do sometimes is I'll go to old leads that I have, and it's funny how people just fill forms out left and right. I'll send out a message, hey, you filled out a form. And they'll say, oh, yes, I did. And they don't even know who they fill out forms with because they fill out so many.
So many,
so,
yeah.
I've gotten leads from 2-3 years ago that is still in my phone. My phone has about 24,000 contacts in it. And I'll just send them out as if they're fresh. And sometimes you'll get them to do it too. That's another, that works sometimes too. Whatever works,
Yeah, you got to. You've done the hard work up front as well, and also they've got that history. Particularly, I imagine with WhatsApp, much more so than even email. It's you can see kind of I've already received this information from, and you're quite specific. Hey, this is obviously about language. And these are the things that I need from you. So,
And it's
I
pretty
think one of
good.
the other things about that
good.
is that, you mentioned before, students might go to another competitor, maybe a competitor that's cheaper. That can be great because then they've had a really bad experience, and then when they come back to you, they're like, why would I need to go again? I've just had a terrible experience. I'm having a great experience here. And then you've got like some student retention there as well.
Exactly. And sometimes, of course, we have our price list. Sometimes I'll just take it away from the competitor. I'll give the same price. Every now and then I do that because, just for them to learn their lesson. I mean, if you're giving it cheap, I have leeway where I can play because we have enough students, and that they don't have so many students. That they're suffering and they're still breaking the prices and basically making nothing. I mean, it's a business, so, you got to make money. If you're not going to make money, you're just going to charge a class, for example, 20 or 15 or 20 and pay your teacher 11 or 12 and make 8. You're not going to make money with that because you have expenses. But that's what a lot of people do here, because I look at some price, I'm like, how can this guy charge this price? I mean, it's virtually impossible. But they do.
Interesting. Herbert, did you have any questions about, so we've gone from Facebook ad to form to WhatsApp to sending out a text message, follow-up messages, possibly an audio, which I loved, by the way, in terms of this idea of personalization.
Yeah, personalization.
And what could be more personal than hearing from the owner of American Teacher Club? It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, obviously being able to re-engage leads, you take them to a trial page. Is there anything, I mean, first of all, the thing that was interesting for me was the fact that WhatsApp is incredibly popular in Brazil. Can you give us a sense of what that feels like? Because I'm based here in the UK, and I certainly haven't heard WhatsApp used in the same way you're describing.
Yeah, we use WhatsApp for everything. I mean, sales. I mean, stores in the shopping malls. I mean, if you go there, they'll take your WhatsApp. They'll send you their promotions that they have as well. I mean, everything. Video calls. I mean, nobody basically calls anymore. Everybody basically calls on WhatsApp or just send audio messages on WhatsApp. So everybody has WhatsApp here. I mean, it's used by the government sites have WhatsApp where you can communicate. Credit cards are by WhatsApp. They have the robots, those bots on WhatsApp. Every kind of a service is being on WhatsApp nowadays here in Brazil. I mean, 100%. Every single company that you can basically imagine uses WhatsApp. That's just the main form of communication here. I mean, I find when I go to Europe, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm Greek as well, and I'll be going to Greece July 27th as well for 3 months to stay there a little bit. But I mean, in Greece they use Viber. They don't use WhatsApp. I mean, my mother too in the States. I said put it on your phone. Oh, we don't use it. My sister too. But now in the States they're starting to use it. I think Facebook, they're trying to push it a lot. But in Brazil, it's just being used. I mean, they've tried, like a lot of people will, the ones I put on Facebook, I'm not going to let Facebook take my data and this and that. But they'll try to go to Telegram, but everybody will come back to WhatsApp because that's basically
because no one uses the other platforms.
No one uses the other ones. Exactly. So everybody basically uses WhatsApp. And like I said, I find that the best way to communicate with students. I mean, the best way to even follow up on your students and stuff like that. Emails, like I said, emails, I just don't use them. I just find them. I mean, I look at my own inbox. And I don't even look at basically anything. It's all spam. It's all this. It's all that. I sign up for specific English courses. One of the big ones. I'm sure you know who it is. And I mean, they send out basically 5 or 6 emails per day. I mean, it's ridiculous. I just follow to see what they're doing. Always with the biggest promotion of the year, the biggest sale of the year, the biggest this of the year, the biggest that of the year. So if I'm getting these emails, and I know that it's basically, it's not true. It's like you just basically wind up, not even looking or just deleting them. So that's why I don't use, emails as a form to contact, the first contact of the students. I mean, that's
fascinating.
Yeah.
Just one thing I wouldn't mind going back to. So even an email, right? So email in particular, there is this sense, I mean, that's why they're sending so many emails is like, hey, they didn't buy on the first day. You mentioned before, they didn't buy on the first day, second day, or third day. And in your view, you've sort of stopped that WhatsApp, which by the way, totally could understand. Is there any benefit in follow-up messages in WhatsApp, or does that tend to start backfiring more so than, say, an email would?
Well, what do I normally do? Like, we're in the end of June. Okay, we're going into July. In July, I'll start sending back to the students again in June. I'll send like a follow-up, because as I told you, I put them with codes so I know what it is. And then I'll just go down and just copy paste. It's pretty fast. I mean, it sounds like it'll take a long time, but it's not. And, I'll follow up on them again, and sometimes, every now and then somebody will respond or not. But, I don't think that, again, my opinion, I don't think that following up on emails either. I mean, okay, getting the CRM to send out the automatic emails, I just don't find that productive because, I think like this. If I don't open it, why would somebody else do it? So if I'm going to make a specific campaign and I don't like it, why should I do it? Because if I don't like it, I'm not going to open it. Why do I think somebody else will open it? So I think it has to be something that I would like to do, that I would like for me to open it myself, or not. That's how I basically think. I mean, like I said, I've never done marketing. I mean, school of marketing. I've studied some marketing, just to see how it works. But everything that I do on Facebook and Instagram, I do it by myself. I mean, I get these specialists from Facebook. They call me, they help me with these campaigns, but they're so generic and so basic that, I refuse it because,
they're a waste of time.
yeah, to put this and, we'll call you every week for 7 days, and I look at the campaigns that they give me, I've done it before, and I look at my own, I get more results from my own. So what do I need from them? I mean, they've been working for Facebook 1 year and I've been advertising on Facebook for 10. So I think I know a little bit more than they do. That's how I think sometimes,
Sure. Is there anything that you think, and I'm wondering for you, Herbert, just out of what you've heard, what do you feel that people that are outside of Brazil could really learn from this experience? Because I feel there's some really good lessons as well.
Definitely. I mean, experiment with different forms of communication, depending on your target audience, your target market. If you are marketing to Brazil, and I know that a lot of English schools are in North America, Brazil is one of their main markets. Test out, making WhatsApp your main form of communication. I've also heard that Latin America, they also like WhatsApp a lot and very savvy with that. So, but that might be a different messaging platform for a different market. So maybe in Russia, that might be Telegram or VK or whatever they use there. Experiment, right? These small experiments don't usually cost a lot, but they can be very effective.
That's that. Anthony, any sort of last comments that you have that you think could be rather general, but just what have you felt you've learned on your journey, and particularly this has been a fantastic conversation about WhatsApp, but any last comments?
Yeah, well, I think that if you're going to market your products online, you can't be afraid to invest, okay? Because you can't be afraid like, in the beginning I was afraid, but I was able to get out of it. Of course, if you do it through somebody like Herbert, that has experience, you'll be much better, of course, than trying on your own, because maybe for sure Herbert knows the business himself and could help you. But, you got to spend money. You're not going to get nothing in life is for free. And neither is marketing, especially unless you're a big influencer that has, hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. Okay, great. But I mean, if you're in English school and you have 5,000, 10,000 followers, you still got to invest. You still got to invest. Another thing too that I think is you have to let your own followers appear, generic followers. Don't pay for followers. Don't pay for fans, because that's a waste, it's just, you have all these fans and then you'll post something online, you'll get 10 likes, so, but I think that, the best way, like I said, I think you can't be afraid to invest. You got to keep on trying, never give up, invest and offer good products and also a good platform just like LearnCube, and I'm not paid to advertise you guys, but I really like the product. The product is really, really good, really wonderful. I've had a really good experience from it.
I really appreciate that as well, Anthony. And it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Get More Students podcast. Again, this has matched or exceeded my expectations, totally learned something new. And I think it's a wonderful story of how often we think that the big box companies have all of the strings and know everything, or have all of the answers, or that the channel. But actually, we're learning here that you can succeed with really owning and really understanding a channel or a market much better than anyone else. And I think you're a real testament to that. So congratulations on the success you've had.
Thank you very much.
And just to finish off, thank you again for listening to the Get More Students podcast. We deliver a new shiny episode each week, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you would actually like to try our LearnCube, please check it out. It's at www.learncube.com, and we look forward to talking to you more next week.
See you again.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks again, Anthony.